On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Yeah, because you just always
like.
want
Does
to get
anybody
off
agree
of
that
stuff
Kay
that
should
you
continue
say.
with the conversation? If you do,
Does
raise your hand.
anybody agree?
Raise your hand if you think that she should continue with this.
It's a conversation, so either we're going to end it or not.
Right.
Okay, I just asking do you agree? I'm just trying to figure out if it makes sense.
I don't agree with neither or. It's just a
right. So we're moving on. Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't me. I just had to do a self check.
It's your decision, JR. It's your show.
Yes,
okay. Okay. All right. Can you go ahead and proceed to answer the question now, Kay?
As men, we are taught how to treat women, but not how to protect ourselves. I think that there's a lot to talk about in terms of that, because some men are not taught how to properly treat a woman. Some men are not taught how to protect themselves. Some are. I mean, there's a lot that can happen. I'm not going to claim to know what the majority of men have been taught.
Lead, you're too generous. We're not going to shout out E Black on that specific note. No shout outs to E Black for that one, because he was on crazy time all night that night. He said Amber Rose was marriage material. He said a lot of things that was crazy that night.
What I'm telling you is E Black is a victim, Anton. That's what I'm telling you. He was brought up.
Very much very true.
He was brought up in a situation where he thinks that he is, not only does he think he's right, but he thinks he's moral. So shout out to him. I'm not going to shout out. He's a victim. It's not his fault. Did
you hear what he said? He was drinking. I think he was drinking that night, though, Lee. He said Amber Rose was the top of all women.
I missed that.
Was that the same show?
I don't think that was the same show. I would have remembered that. Amber Rose is looking pretty rough these days. I mean, she had her heyday.
That was a different show. That was a different show. You're right.
Yeah, that was a different show. But so, we just need to get to these men early, and you really can't get to them early enough, because it starts when they're 5 years old. It starts when they're 6 years old. I missed the context, but I think Courtney was saying how, she has a child, and in the schools they're separating the kids, and the boys are over here and the girls are over there. That's where it starts. Where you're creating this equality, you're creating an idea in these children's heads that there's a reason why they're separated, and that gap, that reason why they're separated, the boys over here, the girls over here, that gap is where all the victimization starts to occur. And so you're never going to get to these kids early enough. You talk to a kid and he's 19, he's been victimized, since he was 6. You don't hit your sister, she's a girl. That's a wrap. That's where it starts.
I was never taught that.
You were never taught not to hit a girl? I don't believe that. That's just not true.
Listen.
Hey, Kay.
It's not true.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I was taught, TLA. Honestly, I'm going to tell you what I was taught. The lessons was to the women, don't ever get in the man's face. The lessons was for them. And we was taught, well, I'm not even gonna get into that. I don't want to get into
don't
that.
even, because that's not true. All men in this country,
right?
All men in this country have been subjected to
don't hit a woman, even if you hit you. Don't
like I never heard that.
You're the big man. Okay. You're stronger than her. Don't hit her back.
That's exactly right.
I wasn't taught like that.
Yeah.
And I've said regularly, if you want to get in this arena, if you want to jump in the boxing ring, if you want to get on the basketball court, I'm not going to take it light on you. I'm bodying you up. I'm going to cross you over. I'm going to push you down right after the crossover, and then I'm going to hit the shot. I'm not playing no games. I don't see no kind of woman whatsoever. All I see is competition. You're going to die on that sword coming in my way.
Anton, that sounds like an offensive foul. Sound like an offensive foul.
Yeah, it is what it is, bro.
Anton, have you ever hit a man?
Hold on, okay. I'm coming to you next with the question, but it looked like you had a question before I asked you the question. So go ahead and ask the question that you wanted to pose, and then also respond on. As men, we are taught how to treat women, but not how to protect ourselves from women.
Okay, I had a couple. I had one for Lead. So Lead, this makes me think about what we were talking about earlier in terms of feminism in the classroom and all these things like that. Do you think, just your opinion, that boys and girls should not be separated in the elementary school level? Excuse my voice. Oh my goodness. But do you think that boys and girls should not be separated, that it should just be kind of like, everyone's together, no like boys line, girls line. Like, what do you think personally, in your opinion?
Okay, thank you. Let me limit to this personally, because when I was coming up, I don't remember this separation, and I don't have any kids, so I have no idea what's going on in these elementary schools. So the fact that you guys are telling me that that there's all this separation, I don't know anything about that. So I want to answer your question, but I don't even have the context. I mean, are they?
That's
I don't,
fair. That's fair.
I don't think it's healthy.
Okay. I mean, I respect that. Anton, have you ever hit a man? You're on mute.
Yep, I hit a man and a woman before.
So did you fight with the woman?
Yep, sure did.
Who won?
Hey, you see how she taking shots? We're gonna get there.
How is that a shot?
That's
a damn shot. Of course, Anton won. That's a damn shot.
I want y'all to know. I want y'all to see it so that when I show back up and I deal with it,
how is that a shot?
Y'all gonna be.
I'm just trying to figure out how is that relevant, Kay. I mean, we're trying to.
The reason I asked is because he said that he doesn't see men and women differently in terms of fights. So the reason I asked that question, oh my goodness.
No, I understand that.
The reason that I asked that question is because I was trying to see if you don't see men and women, differently in terms of fighting. And I don't know if you want. I mean, what?
What are you saying?
I guess the shot is that you think that you could beat every woman in a fight. I don't know what the shot is. How is it a shot? How is me asking if you won a shot?
Can you make it? Because you didn't ask if I won against the guy. But anyways, go ahead.
No, the reason I didn't ask if you won.
Y'all do this every single show. This is crazy.
Now
I see. Okay.
The reason that I didn't ask if you won against the guy is because in society, just in general, and this is what we've been y'all have been talking about, is about how men are taught not to hit women. In fact, when Courtney said that, that's what made me think of the question. So if men are taught not to hit women, and you said, I don't know, maybe you weren't taught that, whatever. So if you were in a fight with a woman, it was probably a fair fight, right? I'm just asking who won.
Wasn't a fair.
Can we move forward? This is
Did you beat up the woman, or did she beat you up?
Did you send her to the hospital? Did she die? Like, Jesus, what are we talking about?
He said that he's not been taught.
This is the person that's educating y'all children.
Okay.
Yeah, because you just always
like, does anybody agree that Kay should continue with the conversation? If you do, raise your hand.
Does anybody agree?
Raise your hand if you think that she should continue with this.
It's a conversation, so either we're going to end it or not.
Right.
Okay. Like, just asking do you agree? I'm just trying to figure out if it makes sense.
I don't agree with neither or. It's just a conversation.
Right. So we're moving on. Okay. I just want to make sure it wasn't me. I just had to do a self check.
It's your decision, JR. It's your show.
Okay. Okay. All right. Can you go ahead and proceed to answer the question now, Kay?
As men, we are taught how to treat women, but not how to protect ourselves. I think that there's a lot to talk about in terms of that, because some men are not taught how to properly treat a woman. Some men are not taught how to protect themselves. Some are. I mean, there's a lot that can happen. I'm not going to claim to know what the majority of men have been taught